Flash. Flash, for those not familiar, refers to the mechanic that allows you to play your creatures out at instant speed. This deck is an aggressively slanted control deck, so it's got disruption like Ionize, removal spells like Shock, Scorching Dragonfire, and Bonecrusher Giant, and then some other flashy creatures like Brazen Borrower and Dream Eater. A couple of different things to note in this build versus some of the other builds that have been floating around. You'll note that I'm currently not playing any Gadwick, which is intentional. I think the lack of Gadwick makes your deck better against other flash decks and decks with counterspells. It's very difficult in a world where Mystical Dispute is a main deckable card to tap out for that effect. The second is that I think not playing Embercleave in this archetype is very, very wrong. Embercleave lets you win a lot of games that you have no business winning, where you can no longer control the board, but you're like, all right, pivot, double strike my thing, kill you. And that ability to, like, snatch victory from the jaws of defeat with a card like Embercleave is very important. All right, we're starting off at 97%. See where we can go today. Don't really care about our rank. This season doesn't do anything for us, but still fun to track, you know? The fact that you can't full art your lightning strikes is upsetting. You can full art lightning strike. Yeah, there's just only one has a full art option, right? You just restricted on art choices. Gadwick's very bad against counter spells, Pseudo Panda, which makes him a liability in the flash mirrors and against control decks. The outburst not do too great last time. It's just expensive and slow. And it's, again, thinking about Mystical Dispute. It's a 4-mana card that gets Mystical Disputed. Thanks for the 15 months, Big Beanie Cap. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Maybe I'm supposed to Cutthroat main phase there. This gets quenched or disputed. I'm going to be really sad. Yeah, I think I messed up. I think I was supposed to do this main phase. It resolved there so we weren't punished, but I think my decision was wrong there. I'm going to go ahead and just guarantee to use my mana this turn. Deny them the ability to play a 4-mana spell. I don't know, there's some upside to waiting on that just because, okay, this is very punishing. All right, ugly boy, get in there. I hope this card eats garbage and gets banned in every format of Magic. To let you know how I really feel. Eat crap and go away, Teferi.
Here goes nothing.
Yeah, if they had shown us white mana, I definitely wouldn't have ionized the Growth Spiral. But I had them just on blue-green because Bant's not super popular, so... yeah. It only returns non-land permanents, right? That's super unfortunate. So I can't bounce this and attack. Alright, I guess I just do this now and bounce this Nissa. Yeah, I think I keep the rest of those. I'm going to trade one of these for the Teferi. And then, next turn, if they replay Nissa, Dream Eater plus Bonecrusher Giant finishes the Nissa, which is nice. Afternoon, silliest buddy. Hey, it's Fine Dog. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having an excellent Saturday wherever you're at in the world. I guess because they tapped out, I get to do this, huh? We are, Puggin. Standard and historic submissions are going to come up pretty quick this week. The queues are pretty light for both of those at the moment, so there won't be long wait times if you submit either of those formats. Long-time stalker on YouTube. Usually don't get to check out the stream. It's been fun. Super fun with the Bruce. Hey, well, thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate the support. I think I'm just supposed to pass here. This is one of those games where we've completely lost control, but if we manage to find an Embercleave, we can maybe steal. Maybe I'm just supposed to take this hit and then scry here. Maybe I'm supposed to bottom this rather than kill the Hydrate Crisis. I did make a few changes to your submission plugin. They're just not reflected in the deck queue. I usually leave the viewer submitted list in there, so there'll be a few small changes when it comes up. Pushed a couple of things around. Alright, so Quench seems medium. Aether Gust seems great. I guess Negate tags Nissa and Teferi, so it's probably worth keeping in. Trim the Scorching Dragonfires. Still not 100% sure if our opponent's playing a more ramp-based build or a more flash-based build. They're playing the 2/2 flyer for 2 that ramps, so maybe that implies that they're on a more of a ramp deck, like less Frilled Mystics. Afternoon Slacker. Are Nissa's lands weak to Chandra's board sweep? They are not. Nissa lands are elementals, and Chandra deals damage to non-elementals. Pioneer had a rocky start, but finished out relatively okay. So you did 4 Pioneer decks instead of 3. What happened? Somebody sent me money. So, because the kids aren't around this week and Christy's out of town with them, any cut the lines are welcome. So if you want to see more Pioneer or Standard, feel free to send me extra dollars. We'll extend the stream accordingly. And at a minimum, we're going to do 6 decks a day. For people not familiar, to cut a deck already in the queue into today's stream, it's a $50 donation. To cut a brand new deck into the stream, it is a $100 donation. I have an asterisk 16-hour daily limit. So, I know my limits, so cuts up to 16 hours a day. Personal care is important. Ah, man, what's going on, New England Savage? Thanks for the third of a year. Welcome back. And as always, if you have something sweet to be played, getting it added to the queue and waiting in line is much cheaper than those numbers I just mentioned to make me extend the stream. There's going to be plenty of stream this week with or without cuts. I would like to Ionize. Yeah. Yikes. So we're dead. I didn't board in my Lava Coils. Yeah, this list felt a little rough last time we played it. I feel like this deck's actually much better in Pioneer than in Historic than it is in Standard right now. I feel like the position of, or the decks that people feel like they're playing in Standard right now are much harder matchups than the decks that I've been seeing played in Historic. The appeal of this Flash deck is largely its ability to do better against small aggressive decks, and there aren't a ton of small aggressive decks in the Standard format right now. There's like Black-Red Knights that's seeing play to some amount, but a lot of these other bigger green decks feel very, very difficult. Even with changes like cutting Gadwick. Maybe I should have Ionized just to race. Yeah, I think not Ionizing was wrong. Oh, you know what? I didn't fetch a blue. If I had a blue, I could dispute here. Yeah, if I would have Ionized them, they would be 4 lower at this point. I guess I technically still have lethal next turn, huh? They would have taken 2 from the Ionize, and they would have taken 2 from the Ionize, and they would have taken 2 more from 1/1 counters on this. What's added in the Historic version? There aren't a lot of meaningful additions in the Historic version, so much as the types of decks people are playing in the format are more kind to this archetype as a whole. Does Ionize still deal damage if it can't be countered? It does. So the can't be countered part doesn't happen. Now they're just dead to this. They could have a veto to save themselves, but what is double disputing the last Teferi? Do Zephoid? Can you explain? It makes the Cutthroat bigger, but their card's pro-blue. Alright, do I want Lava Coils in the face of that? Probably. Commence the Endgame also blocks that card, which is nice. Probably cut Shock. Maybe it's wrong to cut Shock because Shock finishes off Teferi after it down ticks. Yeah, they did. They did a lot of design pivots that they said they weren't going to do anymore in the last couple of years. 1-mana accelerants, protection, etc. What's going on, Lord Aaron? Yeah, today's the first day of our end-of-year streamathon. Gonna be live every day for the next 7 days, doing some Pioneer into some Arena. I'll be up tomorrow too. The animations are not your thing. That's sad. think the animations in Arena are actually just incredibly well done. I think it's one of the best things about the application. The fact that they like added some amount of lag to the application is not ideal, but in general, super happy with the animations. Yeah, I agree. I think Hexproof from a color was a really, really good mechanic. That was well done. If they want to bounce Bonecrusher then gets to crush Teferi to finish him off, which is great.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I knew I left my safe space and firmly entered Hoaglandia when instinctively recommended a $3,000 cardboard got firm knocked back down to earth. Rough. Alright, so I assume they're going to bounce one of my things here. We're actually not in a terrible spot here, so I get to go ahead and say Lava Coil this, Bonecrusher Giant hit Nissa, Bonecrusher kill Nissa. So, unfortunately, still can't hold up Dispute here. So that's a little awkward in the face of our hero of Hearthstone. Yeah, Teferi's incidentally very good against Cleave as well. Incidentally very good against a lot of things that are sweet. Gotta bottom that. There's a good chance we just like aren't casting instants at instant speed this game. Wonder if we'll see Teferi bounce Cutthroat again here.
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
So that means if we draw a third Bonecrusher Giant, we can finish him off potentially. We're looking to fade Nissa and Hydrate Crisis here. Ceratops isn't the end of the world. Would you like to trade and jump? If we take this Teferi out of play, I think we're actually back to being in a pretty okay spot. Just because I have like double Cutthroat, double Dispute. And like these Bonecrusher Giants kind of check the Ceratops, which is nice. Really? Okay. Well. Go. I mean, to be fair, their Teferi is currently mind rotting us, right?
Let's try this.
Okay. Man, where's a castle or a blast zone when you need one, huh? Yeah, in it to win it, chat. You will not shake my world, opponent. Just resubscribed. Thanks for running a good stream. I figured I would sub. Instead of making a deck suggestion because watching your content made me realize how bad at Magic I am at card games. You run a clean stream and thanks for that. Thanks for the support. I appreciate you keeping me around, player one. If you do the whole Discord thing, if you're a new sub, you should make sure to pop on into the subs Discord as well. If you did just re-up, sometimes it takes a little bit to sync over. It's a pretty good draw. Alright. It didn't... That's really like the 3-mana Teferi story. Like, we ended up beating it, but it just felt kind of miserable. We weren't happy about it. We won the game, but we weren't happy about it. XR Tron, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. It's a bit of a slog of a first match there. Slow and steady. So, this opponent's ranked 659, and there's like three days left in the season. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a W because I don't need the rank, and they're probably, as someone who's like done the ladder, like the stress and annoyance at the end of the season trying to win like 1 or 2 more matches to get to a safe spot so you can quit is real stressful. Thanks for the 30 months, Muscle Man. I appreciate that. Welcome back. There. At 600 something, they're like 1 or 2 matches away. Is Taff above Nissa and you're get the heck out of standard list? Probably. I don't know. Those cards are offensive for different reasons. Our hand is not particularly good against an aggressive start this game. Yeah, 1200's further away than 600. 1200, they probably gotta win 4 or 5 more matches. I don't know. I'm gonna say that I've got an arbitrary line set in my head that's probably somewhere in the 800 or so at this point. I'm gonna shock this. It keeps them off of drill bitting me for cheap, and it keeps them off of Spawn of Mayhem. Heartfire. Okay. Okay. Let's get that one out of there. That's a good one to know about. But maybe playing something aristocrat-y here. Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. But Jeff, if you give that guy the win, you're pushing someone else that I'm think. People that think that way are wild to me. Doing something nice for one person is not the same as being mean to everybody else. And I know you're joking, but there's a lot of people who feel that way. They can get over themselves. We would probably get a lot of mileage out of an emoticon that represented Bonecrusher. That card's going places. It's like playable in every format it's legal. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna do it again. Hey, thanks for the 11 months, C-Lab. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't think I want both of those, but I think I'll take one here. I have 6 lands, so I get to go. Like, Scorching plus Shock. Hit you for 3, play a Brazen Borrower. Bonecrusher Giant's a lot better than Flame Tongue Kavu, and I don't think it's particularly close. We have a Murderous Rider here. The Devil, sure. That's better than the Rider, because Rider would deal 2 to them, which would put them in range of getting killed in 2 hits. Tutti frutti. Oh, Judy. Do I upkeep Scry because Bonecrusher is lethal? Yeah, I think so. Shock's lethal too. I think I keep that, right? Stops them from killing my lethal threat, potentially. That's really sick. Close game. Opponent's deck is sweet. Red-black Heartfire aggro. I dig it. I'm not a huge fan of the Robin Hood card, Robber of the Rich, but the rest of what they're doing seems great. Lava Coil sounds wonderful here. Flame Sweep sounds fine. I don't know that this is Aether Gust. Aether Gust is probably okay. Negate, Dispute sounds medium. Quench is probably whatever. I probably don't need 4 Ionize. I think I like this board plan. Yeah, Rankle sacrificing Butcher is real sweet. It's not one I've done before. By the time we were playing Rankle, Dreadhorde Butcher had like kind of phased out. This is fine. Needs to draw some more lands, but our deck's got a lot of lands in it. The spells are pretty reasonable, so if we run off a land or 2, it's probably going to put us in a good spot. We're the bad guy? Maybe. Yeah, Dreadhorde Butcher is one of those cards I would describe as it's a 2 or a 10. It's a card that's like either the best card in your deck or just like completely unplayable. There's not a lot of middle ground for it. That land's a great draw. I'm just gonna Cutthroat this turn. I think I'm just doing this. What did I study / research when I was at university? I didn't really do much research stuff. The master's degree that I did, it had like a project at the end. It didn't have like a formal thesis. It's a little bit less rigorous than some other programs. I mostly just did my master's because the school wanted to pay me to do it. And I liked going to school. I think I just let this happen. If we're lucky, they play out more. Sweet. Perfect. Just like we drew it up. Can you be my first? Maybe, Justin. Maybe. I kind of like being able to say arena's just like real life. We have no friends. I lose the ability to make that joke if I had friends to my friends list. Yep. That's really cute. My opponent thinks they're winning this race. Are they? They might actually be winning this race. That was a good draw. Yeah, I'm one short this turn, right? Oh no, I could have killed them with this, right? I'm so dumb. I'm dumb. I missed the kill you with your spawn trigger. If I cleave, they die to their spawn trigger. So, if I hadn't killed their Judith in play, they would have gotten 2 Judith dies triggered and killed both my Brazen Borrowers. Crunch, crunch. Alright, so we won that one in spite of missing lethal on that one turn, so stole it a little bit. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. I'm just going to go ahead and run it back here. Maybe I prefer Quench on the draw versus Ionize. Yeah, let's do that. Holding up 3 mana counters on the draw are a tough sell. Especially against decks that could potentially get under us. Looking for lands. Hurts to bottom that, but I think I really just need a land here. I just exiled a land. That's so rude. Oh, it just keeps exiling lands, chat. I think I gotta bottom that to try and hit an untapped land for this flame sweep. I hate everything. I hate all of it. Everything sucks, chat. Why does everything suck? Alright, fine. Feels magic, man. Feels magic, man. Magic sucks and then you die quite frequently. Quite frequently. Obviously, I could have, like, played some cards there and taken some game actions, but at the point that game was at, we were very unlikely to win, and rather than just sit there and play a game where we're behind because we're incredibly unlucky, let's just roll to the next one. The ladder's great for that. Sweet. I am glad we're getting to play some of these matchups, though. I think, these small creature aggressive decks really show some of the power of this deck. And we got a little bit unfortunate to lose that last one. I think in general, these matchups tend to be very reasonable for us. Well, at least we have 2 Bonecrusher Giants. Opponent's start here is very strong. Bad die roll to lose. How many win conditions should you run in your deck? I mean, there's not a hard and fast rule for that, Justin. It varies depending on a lot of variables. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this now, rather than pass to them and let them play a 3rd land and potentially be able to pump their thing or threaten to pump their thing. Bye-bye, Bonecrushers. I hardly knew ya. Really hoping to draw an untapped land here so we can hold up Ionize this turn. Again, want to just kill that now so they can't threaten to pump it. That Totsties doesn't even do damage to them, right? This is a burn spell, or they have another big threat this turn, we could be in trouble. They have Mother Flippin' Embercleave as their last card. That's really unfortunate. Oh, just black lands, sure. That makes sense. Not Embercleave, but much better for us than Embercleave. They drew a 2nd threat here. We're probably just dead. That's a pretty good one. Solid, some solid wrong half problem here. While I do think this style of matchup is one of the reasons I played this flash deck, there are going to be a lot of these game 1s where you just like have that wrong half problem. Just have a little bit too many cards that don't play to the board. You just get kind of run down. Get to board out a bunch of those cards that don't play to the board for some more removal here. Plenty of game 1s that would go the other way from the arrow. Yeah, I think that's true too, Dragon Boy. I think had we been on the play that game, the play versus the draw that game was the difference in their drill bits being impactful, right? Like, had we been on the play, we would have killed a lot of their stuff before it hit us, making their drill bits more expensive and not good. Sure. You've hit the match timer 4 times. Good lord, Justin, you must be playing slowly. The timeouts are for the individual action timer, so you can't take infinite time on a single game action. The match timer is also important, so a single match can't take 3 hours. I think having both of those things is good. I mean, you can't be playing too quickly if you're the one timing out and they're not. I mean, like, I play a ton of Arena, and I've never timed out, and the number of times my opponents have timed out are, like, few and far between. So if that's something that's happening to you on the regular, you're probably not playing as quickly as you think you are. Like, just because you're not hitting the rope doesn't mean you're playing quickly. The rope doesn't happen for a very long time. The rope takes forever to pop up on Arena. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce this now before it gets the trigger, so this way their drill bit isn't cheap. You've drawn your deck twice because of emergency powers. Alright, I lied. The answer is that your deck choice is rancid. I'm gonna kill this and hope to draw an untapped land here. Quench, sure. So their hand was 3 spells because they discarded a knight. So they're gonna get to play Spawn through this Quench. If they have another spell past that, we can quench their follow-up. Blaststone's actually an okay pickup here. Needed a 6th land anyways. So they deal a damage to each of us, and then they discard a card. What is their last card, and why is it always Embercleave? Have I mentioned that Surveil 4 is a lot, chat? I feel like I haven't mentioned how much Surveil 4 is recently. Vomit. So, if the top card of their deck is a blank, we win, right? Because we hit them to 7, we chump block, we go to 1, we Brazen Borrower. So I think we just hope for a brick on top. Survey says, if you can dodge a lethal card, you can dodge a ball, chat. Am I dead yet? Feels like a W. Close. Thin margins, chat. Thin margins. All right. You gotta try and win one on the draw now. 1 and 0 confirmed to be different numbers. Listen, chat, if you finish the game with more than 1 life, you didn't use all of your resources that you had available to their fullest extent. That's all I'm saying. Your health total is a resource that you get to manage. It's a nice one. Sure. Yeah, Bonecrusher's great here. What you're saying is that if we have more than 1 life, we shouldn't kill our opponent because we're not using everything. But there, you see, you get it. You understand. 1 mana creatures. Boo. Don't drill my bits. Don't drill my bits. Shuffler confirmed broken. The Shuffler's as rigged as the earth is flat, chat. Thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Ooh, that's a really good one for them to not know about. Op's actually great too, huh? Go. Feel like we're in an okay spot here. So we go down to 12. We quench their 3 mana play. Grow the Cutthroat. We just go ahead and pass here. If they attack, I block. They pump, I stomp. So they don't have good attacks here. They could attack with this to maybe try and get me to stomp their face to grow this up, but Opt throws a wrench in that plan. All right, I have no more options. I've played them all out. Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Looking for Brazen Borrowers, Bonecrushers, Dream Eaters at this point. Things that tempo my opponent a little bit while we beat him down. Have I mentioned that Surveil 4s a lot? Pick it up. Whee! Really like Dream Eater in this deck. It was a really solid addition. It's a lot like Brazen Borrowers 5 and 6. I appreciate someone who can take out the Cutthroat on their way out the door. If I'm going down, he's going down with me. Sugar, we're going down. We're going down in a really lounge. Sugar, we're going down swinging. Be a number 1 with the bullet. Loaded gun complex. Cock it and pull it. Do-do-do. They saw the ugliest card you had and wanted you to do you a favor on the way out. It is. Poor little Cutthroat. He's definitely the ugly duckling. Are those the lyrics? I never knew. I am confident that the lyrics I just said are like only 70% accurate. I'm pretty sure Sugar, we're going down is accurate. Everything else I just kind of hum out. It's definitely close. Close is accurate. I think I just want every counterspell in this matchup. 70% is about right. Good enough. I'll be your number 1 with a bullet. Loaded God complex. Cock it and pull it. Yeah, okay, there you go. Pretty close. I do think this deck's got a decent Fires matchup, so this deck's probably a fine choice if you're expecting a lot of Knights and Jeskai Fires. I think the green match, I think the Nissa matchups are hard, but both Fires and Knights are good. I think the Oven matchups are a little bit hard too. Check out some of our options here. Come on, opponent. What you doing? What you doing? The fetch spoilers are fake. Got a lot of lands in this deck. The Cutthroat actually means I'm going to hold on to this other opt tier. So this way I can Cutthroat and then opt after to get it a counter. So if they play Sphinx here, we'll go Cutthroat, dispute it, untap, crack for 3, play a Scryland. It's a little awkward if they have fires, so I have to quench a fires, and then I can't get my Cutthroat down this turn. Who's a good little ugly duckling? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Such a good little ugly duckling. Bottoming anything that's not a counterspell or another land tier with Dream Eater in our hand now. If they have a 5th land, they can stick a Teferi through the Quench, which is a little awkward. Really just want them to play a 4 or 5 mana spell this turn, so we just, like, quench them out of the game. I suppose if they stick 3 mana Teferi here, I like Brazen Borrower in response. That way I get to kill their Teferi afterwards. Might be a little bit greedy, but there's just so many lands in this deck. When I'm digging for counterspells too, I'd rather just bottom, because I'm pretty likely to find another land. Well, I guess the fact that I need 2 lands in a row here could maybe change that. Thank you for making a command, Squid Squad. Mod powers! Do-do-do-do. That's fine, right? Chunk, chunk. Here's to many more indeed. Thanks for keeping me around. It's been a wild year. I will be here as long as y'all will have me. Quench my thirst, daddy. Cutthroat is thirsty, a thirsty boy. Dispute, Gust. Dragonfire out. We don't have a ton of cards on our sideboard for this matchup just because it's good to begin with. This seems fine. Yeah, the dogs make different noises both when you counter and it's different when you get countered. I think this is a mulligan here. Just no action. This is fine. I'm gonna bottom. I'm bottom the Bonecrusher. It's like an okay threat, but you don't really need that effect here. Hey, did they actually fix this not showing up twice? Wild. So looking for an untapped land so we can turn 2 Cutthroat. I'm gonna bottom that. I'm gonna just like dig for this untapped land. With second Scry land and Opt, we're pretty unlikely to brick altogether. There's a chance that even if we find the untapped land, that we're gonna have to dispute a Teferi on this turn anyways. So we've got 3 more shots at a land here. Yeah, I think that's better than missing. I think they have a Mystic Dispute. So I'm not going to do this. Just going to go ahead and Quench here. Just get him out of there. Now, the unfortunate part here is I don't have any way to get a real clock going this game. It's like I'm gonna need to Ionize their threat this turn, and then I still just don't have any pressure in play. So like, while I've answered their first couple of things, the fact that I'm not applying pressure while doing that's a big deal. You get Bonecrusher here. It could also just be like holding up the scry on the castle. And if they do Bonecrusher us, it means that they're not getting to activate castle this turn, which is ideal. Okay, you just go ahead and cast this to get my threat into play. Hopefully they jam fires here and we just get to gust it, and then we can Ionize the following turn. Kenrith is a beating. I don't think we're going to be able to beat that. Say thanks for the great content. I don't think I can stick around to watch the Abzan Hero submission live, so feel free to make changes. Yep. Yeah, we're going to start, I think I adjusted the sidebar. We're going to start pretty close to your main deck. Main deck seemed pretty clean. Go ahead and just move along here. I don't think we can beat Kenrith. He's real good. Maybe these Aether Gusts aren't good enough here. Is that the case? That might be the case. I don't know. It's probably fine. Attacks Fires and Bonecrusher and Red Cavalier. Howdy, Party Bus. Yep, we're going to be live today and tomorrow. The next 6 days after. Little end/beginning of year streamathon. Again, sweet. I'm going to lead on the Fabled Passage here. Whipping Mod, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You definitely can, Whipping Mod. I got you. We live to please, huh? Nah, I'm just not beating those cards if they're in play, Jace. I'm just gonna cast this now to get it in under Mystical Dispute. Obviously, it could get Bonecrushered, but I'm gonna end step it anyway, so it's gonna get Bonecrushered regardless. So, I think I'd rather just, like, play this now so it doesn't get counterspelled, and hope they don't have Bonecrusher. They're going to have Bonecrusher, and I'm gonna feel bad, but I think it's correct to just jam this here. Thanks for taking 30 seconds to make the best possible play. Always appreciate you. They have a Teferi and bounce the Giant here. We just get to stomp Teferi on the way back down and then have some counter spells up. The problem is it's going to be kind of hard to get through there 4-3. Tithe Taker. Yep, that's a card. Makes all of our stuff cost 1 more on their turn. Oh, crap. Passage cost me a mana. God bless America. We're gonna lose because cracking this stupid passage cost me a mana, and I can't Mystic Dispute their Bonecrusher here. I completely forgot. Well, they don't have it. Sure, sweet. Sweet. Second Bonecrusher is a great pickup here. Go ahead and kill that, and then we have these two up next turn. Yeah, this works on spells and activated abilities. So fetching with Fabled Passage is an activated ability. The easiest way to know if something's an activated ability is activated abilities always have colons in their text box. Although it's hard to see on the borderless card, there's a colon in between the tap symbol. Or, no, actually, it's after sacrifice. Yeah. Shortcut memory tool. Humans. Humans are activated abilities because we have colons. One cleave, please. Leave it to Cleaver. In for Brazen Borrower. Definitely just gonna jam this other giant and hope for no Clarion. They're dead if they only have one blocker. If they have a sweeper, we're potentially in trouble. If that's their only play, they're dead. So we'll do this. They'll go to 2. They'll have a 1/1 flyer. This means they can't spot remove Bonecrusher Giant anymore, though, which is nice. Their 1/1 does trade with my Brazen Borrower, which is relevant. Looking for a stomp, a shock, a cleave at this point. If they have a counter spell here, like a Mystic Dispute, they're not dead on board. Maybe I should have played this out at sorcery speed. It's worse against a sweeper, but it's better against a counterspell. I think they're more likely to have counterspells post board than sweepers. They have a Bonecrusher Giant. Oh, I put the Bonecrusher Giant in their hand. I'm dumb. I knew that. I knew that. Somewhere in my heart of hearts. I don't know why I was thinking after I bounced it was an exile. Usually when they're face up, they're in exile. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to bounce Tithe Taker. Yeah, that's probably the line. Bouncing Tithe Taker instead. I guess they would have just been able to play out Tithe Taker plus... Hey, is that a good draw? I think that's a good draw. Top deck hero. Do. I'm so glad Ionize found a real home before leaving Standard. For a long time, Ionize was just like, why aren't you playing Sabotage in your Jeskai control deck? She just like didn't have counterspell decks that cared about that 2-point of damage. But like, this deck really cares about that 2-pointer. In a couple of games so far today. Easy mulligan here, no second land. This is a temple, I might gamble and keep it, but as a basic, definitely not. Yeah, this hand's fine. Need some lands, we're on the draw, and we've got some Scrylands. We'll bottom Embercleave, because that's a card we don't want until we're ready to close a little bit later. Have some threats and some interaction and opt. Sign me up. Well, being blue-red gates on the draw against mono-red probably isn't stellar for us. But we do have a shock in the opener at least. We've got that going on. It's been a hot second since we saw mono-red in Standard, huh? Bonecrusher is notably very bad against these things with sacrifice effects because they can sacrifice them, and then my Bonecrusher Mage, or my Bonecrusher Mage, Bonecrusher Giant doesn't resolve. Huh? They can't sacrifice it without another creature. That's true. Alright, so I think with that play, I'm shocking her and then stomping her. We're going to 14. We're going to 12 next turn. What is the plan? Because they have a light up the stage in the bin, so if she lives, she's going to get to flash that back. Yeah, probably a Cavalcade deck. Almost certainly. So far, everything they've done triggers it. Could still have Torbrand in their deck. Torbrand would be very scary this turn. Frenzy, also good. Another Chandra, very good. Pretty dead here. Again, don't think these matchups are bad for us, but on the draw, had a bunch of tapped lands, just can't recover, don't have time. These are the types of matchups where you just don't get time to stumble. Very similar to how we boarded against the Knight's deck. Take out a bunch of our reactive cards, bring in more cards that deal damage to things that are in play. The big upside this red splash in the Flash archetype has over some other secondary colors. Oop. I think my thing is still not good. Oh, tapped lands. Alright, this hand's great. Sign me up. I think I actually bought him Flame Sweep here. We scry for a third land. You're reading too many comments lately. Comments about what, Marty? What kind of comments are you reading? Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Not ready to draw a third land, though. The best part about playing this deck is when we miss like this, I get to add it to my 26 lands later memoir. Oh, magic. Are a lot of the comments centered around that can't possibly be done because it would ruin the very delicate MTG finance? Please, please tell me there are comments like that, right? I assume this is about to die to a shock and I'm gonna be sad, but... You have red cat meleeed my blue creature. You got it. Everything worked out better than expected. There's our blue. If everybody could use subscriptions, then I would say that that's an astonishingly bad take, but that's like peak Magic player right there. The problem with the subscription model is then everybody would play the good decks. So then that's not good. Well, maybe the solution isn't paywall the good decks, it's balance it so it's fun even when people are playing good decks. I don't know. That's just me. It's stupid and not true. You're not wrong, Zikta. You're not wrong. Listen, if the truth had meaning, chat, Donald Trump wouldn't be president. So we all know how much the truth means in our society today. When a Bonecrusher Chandra at upkeep to get a counter on the thing. Oh, that's a good suggestion. Because I'm stupid is the answer. Here's the deep dark secret. MTGO will never have a subscription model. You know why? Because it's more profitable for it not to. This is the part where Bonecrusher's just so good, right? Because like we've one for one them a bunch. And now, like, I just have 3 4/3s hanging out over here, ready to stomp. The stream title is updated. Stomp, 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 stomp. Do, 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 do. I don't think you're winning this race, friendo. I don't think this is a race the opponent is winning, chat. Stomp! Bonecrusher's ready! Not a single bone left in the body. Just stomping around. Thanks for the half a year, Pansy. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I feel like I haven't been controversial enough today, so I'm going to get chat riled up. I watched the first 2 episodes of The Witcher show on Netflix last night. Thanks for the 16 months, Digitech Wire. And I don't, like, I've never played the Witcher video game, so, like, I was just expecting, like, generic fantasy stuff, but, like, the show it's, like, really bad. I'm probably gonna keep watching it, but, like, I have, like, really low standards for television, and, like, this show is, like, pretty exceptionally, like, the characters seem like they're very rigid, like, they're awkward when they talk to each other. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not a fancy movie person, so I'm not sure, like, if I'm using the right descriptor, but they feel awkward. You think I Quench this? I guess Quench is gonna draw dead at some point. I don't know, I kind of want to let this resolve and, like, play the Cutthroat here, and then I, like, take 2, and then I can coil this next turn. I think I just let this happen and play Cutthroat. I don't know. I go either way. It's supposed to be like that. Is that like a thing? Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe there's something I'm not understanding because I didn't play the video game. Sweep these into the trash. It gets better. Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 more tonight. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, Marty. I can count on one hand the number of Star Wars movies I've watched. Which that comment alone will probably piss some people off, but yeah. The timelines in The Witcher are wacky, and you don't find out until the 5th episode for no reason. Weird. Is it 3, Jeff? Yeah, I definitely watched. I think it's 4. My father liked Star Wars, so we watched the original ones as a child, and then I think I watched one of the other ones. I think. Oh, this is what I messed up last game. I should have Dragonfired her on the upkeep, right? Because this is an instant. I missed a counter on my Cutthroat. This is a pretty big mistake on my part. Because this is... This would be a 5-4. You're meeting for 12-15 next turn. I'm gonna go to 8 here because I think it's pretty unlikely that I die from 8. I'm gonna go ahead and cleave the Cutthroat here. Is he done bad-mouthing The Witcher yet? I just said the characters were awkward. It felt like the acting felt like bad college acting with like a big production. And I don't know, I couldn't tell if it was like supposed to be intentional, like I didn't understand development behind the characters or not. The acting emulates the video game cutscene style. That's good to know. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm happy with where this deck is at. I think this deck's actually a fine spot in the metagame. Like, I know the Flash deck came up out of nowhere and, like, beat everybody up at the Mythic Championship because no one was playing aggro decks there. But I think in a world where we've settled into, like, Knights and Black-Red aggro being playable and people playing Fires again because of that, I think this deck is very good against the red aggro decks and the small black aggro decks, and it's very good against the Fires decks, and it's playable against Cat Oven and the Nissa decks. I do think there's a reason why this archetype didn't do stellar at the Mythic Championship. I do think it's kind of weak against Cat Oven and kind of weak against those Nissa decks. Not 0%, but tough. But I think if you're expecting a lot of aggro and Fires, this is a fine choice. Thanks for the 7 months, Supion. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right. I am going to run to the restroom and fill my water bottle up and then get switched over for the next deck. We have an Abzan hero deck coming up next year. We've got this and then 4 color gates to wrap things up on the first day of our streamathon. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a bit.